Honda wanted to capture everything great about summer in one word: Summerbration. That's in the Honda Summerbration sales event. Now throw in some meat and fire, and you have a Barbabration. Hurry in and get a 2017 HRV for 0.9% APR from KBB.com's best value brand at your Honda dealer.
Visit your Metro Milwaukee Honda dealer today during the Honda Summerbration sales event.
Based on 2017 Brand Image Awards from Kelley Blue Book, visit KBB.com for information. APR financing offers available for well-qualified buyers. See dealer for financing details.
Blog Talk Radio.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of Sin's Chat Corner. I wanted to take a moment to thank you for just taking some time out of your day to come and join us for the next hour or so. I'm very, very excited tonight, in case any of you didn't happen to check my show page or my Facebook page, that we are lucky enough to have the wonderful star Christina Scoleri of the franchise The Mob Wives of Chicago. She's truly what I find to be a very multifaceted individual who's going to enlighten us on both her show experiences as well as just kind of letting us delve into parts of her personal life. I'm certain that this is going to be an interview that we will all enjoy. So before I begin tonight's show, I wanted to take an opportunity to ask the audience to send out some special prayers, if any of you are the praying kind, or give some maybe good, warm thoughts for my sister. Very recently, she's been experiencing some hardships in her life, pretty much across the board. And unfortunately, yesterday, she was involved in a pretty major car accident. For those of you who live in the city of Milwaukee, you know that she's also the lead singer for the group Annie B and the Vagabond Company. So she's a Milwaukee talent. She certainly could use all of our well wishes and the support that you can give her, or even just prayers. So I would consider it a personal favor if you were just to keep her in your thoughts. Second of all, I wanted to remind everyone, of course, if you live in Milwaukee, you know that this is the very last weekend for our Wisconsin State Fair. So certainly be certain to stop down and check out all of the local entertainment that's playing. And in addition to which, of course, I hear that there's some amazing food dishes. Some people swear to me that all of the fried food or the cooked butter or whatever it is, I don't find it personally appealing, but I'm told that it's really good. A lot of good food on a stick, if you will. So get your butts down there, check that out. Certain to be an excellent time. My personal choice for the weekend, tomorrow evening, I believe they have the St. Joseph's Fun Fest, which is located in Big Bend, which obviously if you're in Milwaukee, you know where that is. My very dear friend Tracy Hanneman, she's also the lead singer of the Eddie Butts Band, is going to be playing there. And as you know, if you've seen the Eddie Butts Band before, not only excellent talent instrumentally and singing, but also it's just great opportunity, a lot of good dance music. Finally, I just wanted to bring to your attention one more item before we get going on the rest of our hot topics for this evening. As I might have stated on the show, I believe it was last week, we had talked about I am going to be chairing an event this coming October. It's going to be located in Milwaukee, and it's for the benefit of breast cancer research. Now, at the moment, I'm in the formulating stages of getting the event together. I am situated as it relates to the musicians that are going to be playing the event and some vendors, etc. But I am still seeking, and I have a list of certain particular individuals who could serve in this capacity. So I'll kind of give you a list of what I'm looking for. If you happen to know of anyone, or if you could pass the word along and they know someone, you can certainly get a hold of me. I need to find volunteers, of course, to be able to assist either with planning the event or doing miscellaneous tasks, picking up items, contacting businesses, etc. Obviously, of course, I'll need a certain set to be able to work the evening of the event, and I believe that's going to be October 6th. I need individuals who are located either in the Milwaukee or Chicago area who are involved in the fashion industry or who have done designing before that wish to participate, meaning having their particular items or clothing in a mini fashion show, which is going to have, I found some and solidified some models, but if I don't have any clothing, that's really not going to help very much. Obviously, I need businesses of any kind across the board, whether it's Milwaukee or Chicago. We're going to be kind enough to maybe perhaps donate gift certificates or any items for our silent auction. I have currently got 6 spots available for any type of vendors who would wish to work at a table at the event, knowing you'll have to probably be kicking in, I think, 10% of your actual sales that will be going to benefit the charity. We will also be needing a photographer who could do the photo apps for the course of the evening. And then finally, I just recently conjectured the idea of having a charity date auction. So I found one male and one female, so I'm currently seeking one more male and one more female that would be interested in participating in that, with, of course, all the proceeds of the auction and the silent auction and ticket sales, et cetera, will be going to breast cancer research. So if you happen to, again, know of anybody or wish to assist with the event yourself, these are the following ways you can get a hold of me. I have a direct email, and that's CIN4251@gmail.com. You can reach me on Twitter. My handle is SANDB111. You could also go to my Facebook page, personal, which is Cindy, the last name M-I-C-H, or my show page, which is, of course, Cin's Chat Corner. The other option is, of course, if you log on to Blog Talk Radio and you go to my show page, there is an option for you to email me as well. So certainly, if you know anybody, please, I beg you, go ahead and pass the word around. Okay, for this evening, we have just a few what I would call silly topics. These are just things that Cindy, when she's doing her research for her clients, for her celebrity interviews, and says to herself, what's interesting to talk about? What's something my audience wants to hear? Maybe you'll like these. Maybe you'll think they're boring. We'll see what you think. My first topic for this evening is I have found out that there has been a return for one of the what we call a nighttime soap opera that comes back to television. I'm 43 years old, so any of you that might be in the same age bracket as myself, you'll remember the days of the shows such as Knots Landing or Love Boat or Falcon Crest and the like, Knots Landing being one of my personal favorites, of course. Now, a few weeks ago, we were sitting around watching television, and my brother says to me, he brought to my attention that they now have brought actual Dallas, the television show, back to television. Dallas, excuse me, let's try that again. Dallas is back on television. Now, at first, I was very skeptical. For those of you who ever watched the program ages ago, you would know that, of course, the elderly characters such as Jack and Miss Ellie have obviously passed on in life. They've got many new faces on there, and surprisingly, they've returned some of the old cast, which is what I found to be so refreshing. When you have a classic show like that, or any of the shows I listed prior, you always want to be able to see some of the old characters to bring you a familiarity with the show. Like, for instance, Bobby Ewing, which is, of course, played by Patrick Duffy, is obviously still my favorite heartthrob. In fact, I think he was probably one of the best-looking, if not the only good-looking man on that show, as I recall. And, of course, they still portray him as being Johnny Good, oil guy on the show. Secondly, of course, J.R. Ewing, which we all know is played by Larry Hagman, is still probably the same asshole and cutthroat that he always was. In fact, I've now watched 3 of the shows, and I can tell you he's just conniving, and he's the same old usual J.R., just a lot older looking. Sue Ellen's character has maintained the same grace, same style, and same cunning ways. It's like they all have the exact same character that they had way back in the day. And they also brought in Cliff Barnes, which I found to be rather interesting. The one element missing to that, of course, is, Victoria Principal used to play Bobby Ewing's wife on the show. And I found it kind of disappointing that they didn't have her return. And honestly, I can't even remember. It might have been that she actually died on the show. I'm not quite sure. Now, I've noticed that the casting of the Ewing children, the grown ones, like JR's and Bobby's, was actually marvelously done. I'm not real familiar with them. They look like up-and-coming actors, if I'm not mistaken. So I got to say, for those of you like me that carry a passion for the older things in life, obviously the black and white movies, the older television programs, things like that, I think you really need to go ahead and check out the show. Sad to say, I just realized that the season finale is actually going to be this coming week. But for those of you who have either Dish Network or Time Warner Cable, I know that you have that option to be able to watch it on demand, so you could really watch the entire series and get caught up on that. I find it to be a rather refreshing update. I personally don't feel it's as well written as the old show, and it's not as nostalgic per se, but it's kind of like taking an old piece of history and incorporating it into a newer style. And I think it's playing off pretty well for the producers. So I definitely would say this is my top pick for the week, besides my reality programming, of course. I can tell you that the show currently runs Wednesday evenings, and it's on TNT television. Again, like I said, if you have Time Warner Cable, I know that you can go to channel 1402, which is Entertainment on Demand. And I would say just give it a good check out. It's got a good plot. It's really interesting. It's humorous just to watch kind of the older guys still duking it out. So I would definitely give it a check out if you've got some free time. Now, my other hot topic for the evening kind of was sparked by my daughter. My daughter is 17 years old, and, of course, I was thinking about her the other day, and if any of you happen to have teenagers that are out there, I'm sure that you know that they all live and die by watching the various Twilight Saga movies, because I believe there's been 4, if I'm not mistaken now. Now, my daughter and I have this usual ritual where we'll go to every single Twilight movie on the opening night. There's a midnight showing. Unfortunately, it's become a little harder for me to stay awake till 2:30 to see the whole thing, but she just lives and breathes by the vampires and the wolves. In addition, she's actually got me to really like the series, and of course, I'm ending up being Team Edward, she's ended up being Team Jacob, which is logical nowadays. So it almost seemed fitting when it was announced to the world that Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson, for those of you who don't watch Twilight, those are the 2 main characters, of course. Bella is Kristen Stewart's character, and Edward is Robert Pattinson's character. He's a vampire, and she, of course, falls in love with him. Obviously, they started off as an item on screen, quickly apparently became an item off screen. Now, let's face it. Now, who would not want to see this couple hit it off, considering this immense passion that they seem to resonate when you watch the screen? I mean, I must say that I did find myself impressed by the quality of their acting for just being so young. He's obviously 26, she's 22. Well, apparently they had started living together, and of course the paparazzi was taking a million photos of them all the time, holding hands, kissing, the whole bit. To me, it almost seemed like they became a younger generational type, something you compared like maybe Justin Timberlake and Britney Spears. Of course, Kristen Stewart apparently appears to be a little bit smarter than that, and I did think a little bit classier, but the shocking news recently came out, of course, that Kristen Stewart was having a, I don't want to say so-called affair because they called it a indiscretion, so to speak, with the director of her Snow White movie, which is Rupert Sanders. Now, I certainly don't mean to be outright offensive, but if any of you have listened to my show before, you certainly know that I don't lack for sarcasm. So if you really take a good look at this guy, which I did, I have to tell you that he's not the prettiest thing in the world. Not to say that looks are everything, but to me he kind of looks like a drunken clown. Secondly, the man is 41 years old, and Kristen Stewart, again, is 22 years old. So basically they're half the age of each other. Now, I could certainly see how she'd actually be worth risking her marriage for. And, of course, how awkward is it that his wife, the director of the movie, actually has a small part in the same movie as the woman who's actually screwing around with your husband. Stupid, stupid, stupid. Not to hold any punches back, I personally would want to beat the girl's ass, plain and simple. It was widely reported in the media, of course, like I said, that this was a small indiscretion on both of their parts. Now, obviously, I'm an author, so I'm the first to tell you. I'm going to revert back to the same statement I've made time and time again, that the media always has a tendency to print what they know or what they feel is going to sell. It may not necessarily always be 100% accurate, but they try to get it to a point where people get all excited, they twist it to whatever extent they feel they can without getting sued. First off, what they should have done is really written the story as it really is. The star was actually making out with her director. Literally, it's been prefaced millions of times that they were caught in this huge makeout session. Now, for me personally, in my own opinion, this is not a momentary thing to be taken lightly. I mean, I believe that in any culture, behavior such as this is considered adultery. I mean, he's still cheating on his wife, whether he's kissing on her for a half an hour or 2 hours or 1 time or 5 times. It's disrespectful. It's inappropriate. He's a man 41 years old. I mean, I see that she's smart. I see that she's talented. But what else is a guy going to want from a 22-year-old woman besides the obvious? Again, I might be stereotyping a little much, but I can't imagine from just the little that I have seen and heard that this Rupert Sanders could be so much more appealing than a readily single and, from what I can tell, seemingly in love 26-year-old Robert Pattinson. So my personal feeling on the whole take is this. I think Robert Pattinson, there's like, I don't know, 1 million women that would want to date you. So I think you should put yourself out there and find a woman who actually deserves your time and actually won't stray. Rupert Sanders, I'd say you give your wife half your income. Unfortunately, you have to split up your children and just move along. You've cheated once, and my guess is that that may not be the last time. And as far as Kristen Stewart goes, I would say that she should recognize her mistake and learn once that you lost a super guy in the eyes of America. Again, as I've said many times before on the show, certainly if you have an opinion on this subject or any other subject that I've talked about this evening, again, feel free to email me. You can tweet me. You can send me a note on Facebook. I actually have a chat box in my show here, and certainly that's always on live when we're on the show live right now. You can certainly just chat to me and kind of give me your opinion on that. Like I said, it's become very controversial. I understand the girl's very young, but as I said, I take, the whole idea of marriage in today's society has just kind of been out the window. One little indiscretion and everyone feels like, oh, it's not the end of the world. So that's kind of why I wanted to touch on that subject today. Just one of those things. So like I said, get a hold of me. Let me know what you think. Now, in just a moment here, we should be going live with Christina. As I mentioned earlier, I'm super excited to be getting the opportunity to talk with her. In case any of you don't know, she obviously, her recent claim to fame is, of course, being on the franchise Mob Wives of Chicago. If any of you are familiar with the Mob Wives of New York, you know that Jennifer Graziano originally had created the show in New York, and now she has done the spin-off, which is the one in Chicago. Personally, as you all know, I watch my reality television faithfully. And so I'm here to tell you, I think that Mob Wives Chicago, personally for me, is more of a refreshing change. I find it to be dynamically different in some ways. I find the characters to be different. I find it intriguing from the standpoint of the women in New York are far more distinctively kind of in-your-face type characters, where I'm finding the girls in Chicago, they're that way, but not quite so much to the same extent. I find their personalities are a little more diverse. I find it maybe a little more endearing to myself because I live in Milwaukee, and, of course, this is based out of Chicago. I think it's always a fascination for us in the real world when we are faced with dealing with or interacting with or seeing individuals who have some form of quote-unquote mafia affiliation. I think that we're all kind of fascinated about what that world is like, interested to know who's had exposure to it and what that life is like. So, without waiting any longer, let's get Christina on the line and start talking to her. Hello, Christina?
Yes. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm
Hi.
good.
Oh, wonderful.
How are you?
We have just been talking.
Am I on air?
I am very, very excited. I just told the whole audience I've been speaking your accolades, talking about how dynamically fascinating you are.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Oh, you are very, very, very welcome, actually. I have a number of questions for you, so
okay.
I think we should probably just get right to it here.
Okay.
First off, let me just say this much, that I get the sense that the hype and media attention that surrounds your new show is something that you personally don't necessarily welcome. I'm guessing that you're more of a private individual, so maybe you could describe to us the factors involved in your eventually agreeing to participate in the show.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that. I was a private person, so it was very hard for me to make the decision. Although at the time, it was the right time. They approached me at the right time because I was going through a divorce. And, obviously I've been out of work for 10 years, and I'm thinking, I got to get out there and do something. So the other decision that really, the other person who really knit it in the bud was my dad. I went to go ask my dad, and he supported me full force. He said, go ahead and do it. He said, it's just an entertainment. Go ahead and do it. Do what you got to do. So that ultimately made me make my decision. Oh, geez.
Gotcha. Now, just out of curiosity, because, it just occurred to me as you were talking about that, was there ever any discussion or maybe talk about incorporating your dad into the show?
I'm sorry?
I'm sorry. I was just curious about, did anyone ever approach you about having your dad participate on the show or, have a presence on the show, if you will? Seeing appearances,
when they did,
like that?
Yeah, initially they asked to have my dad if he would be willing to come and do a couple of scenes, and again, at first he was a little leery on it because the word out there is you don't talk about the mob, you don't say anything, and he didn't really know what the show entailed. We don't talk about the mob on the show. It's about our lifestyle. It's about what we've been through growing up. So I approached him with it, and he was like, yeah, sure. He goes, as long as I'm not, as long as we don't talk about anything, it's just about our lives, it's fine.
Oh, okay. So we will be seeing your dad.
So yeah, he is on the show. No, you
Okay.
actually did see him. He's been on the show twice.
Oh.
Couple times, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a and here's the woman that watches the show every week. I must not have been paying attention
well,
then.
I went to go, there was an episode where I had to tell him, when I got a divorce, I didn't tell anybody. I didn't tell my dad. I didn't tell my daughter. I was that's how private I was. A little scared too, but
I got
yeah. So actually this show has helped me, face my fears and just come right out and say it and get past it. So that's what we did. I ended up telling him on the show, and you got to watch. He wasn't too happy, but yeah. It's out there now.
Okay. Okay. I gotcha. I'm curious now, do you find yourself feeling a little less private now? Like you're more open and you're a little more responsive and not so kind of private, if you will? I guess that's for lack of a better term.
Yeah, I mean, again, going through the divorce, I lost a lot of self-esteem and confidence, and this has helped me gain confidence and say what I feel and get it all out. Because obviously on the show I go through therapy too, and that's helped me get it all out. And yeah, it's just helped me get it all out. So I mean, the more you keep it in, the more it hurts you. Comes to bite you in the ass. So excuse me, I swore.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Exactly. Oh, how wonderful for you. Oh, I'm so happy for you. That's great.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Now, obviously, to those of us who've watched the show, we have seen you had your arguments with both Pia and Renee. Now, I was curious to ask whether or not these fights were they really such high intensity, or is there kind of like a sense of drama that's mixed in with it, or is it just heated? Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I understand what you say.
Okay.
They are real, first of all. They are, I mean, of course, when you're filming and you need to get everything in an hour, there are cuts. So you kind of bypass a lot of stuff which led into it and how it came about too. But it's real, and I think I can't speak for them, but for me, it may make it a little bit more intense only because you don't want to look like an ass on TV, and you don't want this person to tell you, put you down, and the whole world's watching. So in that retrospect, it might make it a little bit more. But it's all real.
Gotcha.
It's all real.
Oh, sure. Because we watch that as a viewer sitting on the other end over here, and we're watching a television, and we're thinking, oh, my God, this is like getting way out of control. And we're thinking, would this really happen? Because, we're out with our girlfriends, and we're like, I'm not thinking that was going to happen, So it's kind of like, it kind of begs the question, like, yeah, it does look a little dramatic, So just a curiosity.
Well, like me, for me, I would probably normally not talk to you or walk away, not, you won't hear from me. But, obviously we want the viewers to see what is going on, so we end up, meeting up with each other and discussing what our problem is and what bothers us. And then, that can probably lead up to something too.
Sure. Oh, definitely. I understand that.
Yeah.
Certainly. My goodness gracious. Now, let me just take a second to say that I want to tell you, I admire your strength and your courage, actually. I think it takes a tremendous amount of both of those elements to go on national television and just share, your therapy sessions, share your family struggles with an audience that basically doesn't know who you are at all. I'm wondering if you were apprehensive at all to disclose those parts of your life on TV.
You know what? In the beginning I was, because I was private and I was embarrassed on, what was going on in my life. But I come to realize that, by getting it out there, I'm actually letting the people see, and there may be people out there that are going through the same thing that I'm going through, and if I can help anything, it's all worth it to me. If I can help anybody, it's all worth it to me. There might be people out there like, they don't want to tell their dad, they're embarrassed, or tell their dad about getting a divorce, or they're hiding something, or they're living with their ex-husband, and, I just want people to see my life and let them know it's okay. There's other people going through it, and maybe they can learn from how I go about it.
I gotcha.
That was my reasoning on.
I got it. Now, was your
I love to help
therapist?
people. How about that?
I was just going to say that's perfectly put, actually. Do you think did the therapist help? I mean, was it a better, easier transition as far as going to your family and telling them what was going on? Did it help in terms of your family situation?
Oh yeah. I feel like everybody should get therapy. Only because you normally go talk to your friend, but you kind of probably wouldn't tell her everything. Only because you never know when that friend might like backstab you and go and tell somebody else, or so going to see therapy, you can talk to somebody that doesn't know anybody from Adam. You know it's not going nowhere, and you're actually telling them everything because they don't know you, and they have the greatest advice. I mean, obviously they have a degree, so and they can tell you how to go about it and work through your problems. So I think everybody should get therapy. Just
I would agree,
everybody's
100%.
crazy. You don't have to be crazy to have therapy. I went to go, learn how to try. Yeah, right. I went to go learn how to try to tell my daughter because I didn't want to scar her. I didn't know how to tell her. Just little things too. They could help you.
Oh, certainly.
I should be an advocate for therapy.
Yes, actually, you know what? You should, and I'm the same way. My feeling has always been that everybody's a little nuts out there. I think there is no such thing as normalcy, so I'm a huge advocate as well for that. I think it's important. Mental health is extremely important, definitely, hands down.
Sure. Everybody's got a little crazy.
Oh, thank you very much. Okay. Some of us are just a little more over the top than the others, Not everybody can be Big Ange. That's what I say. Not everybody's Big Ange, and they should be because she's got that over-the-top amazing personality. I dig her on so many levels.
You got that right. Yep. Well,
you got. Exactly. Now, I was curious, and I will be very gracious about this because, of course, I watch the show, and anybody who has seen your ex-husband on the show, in fact. He doesn't appear very enamored in, like, the scenes that I've seen him. Was there apprehension, or did he kind of put the hand up and be like, I don't want to be on the show? I mean, was that ever an issue?
No, I mean, at the end, it's everybody's decision to be on the show. So, no, he was okay with being on the show. I just think maybe he was, he's not an actor or anything, and he was probably a little shy or a little bit, everybody gets nervous. I'm not sure, but he does actually do the things that he does in real life, like what you see on TV.
Okay.
Like he's always nitpicking whatever I'm doing, or Yeah.
Oh my goodness, how's that working for you? I think I'd be pulling out every strand of my hair right now. Oh my goodness.
I mean, it's kind of like living with your parents.
Yes, I can
he's watching
imagine
every move you're making, and nitpicking everything. So, it bothers me. It gets to me, but it's not nothing that I can't handle. There's worse out there, if you know what I mean. Sure. I'm not getting beaten up. I'm not getting, none of that.
Right,
so
of course.
I could deal with it, I guess. Not something I recommend, but yeah.
That's okay. Will we be seeing him more on the show as well?
Yeah, you will. I'm not sure what because again, there's scenes that don't even make it, so you never know.
Right.
I mean,
of course.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. We'll keep our eyes open for more of that. Yes, because
cool.
I don't know if you know.
And you got to go on.
Yes. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, you'll see more, but you see the bonus clips on online if you go to.
Right.
So he's on some of those too. Mm-hmm.
I gotcha. And that's on the VH1 website, correct?
Yes, it's mywifechicago.vh1.com.
Exactly. That's what I thought, definitely. And I myself personally, I have to tell you that I'm excited to see the dynamic. When you two, just watching you as an outsider person watching the two of you, it's almost like slapstick in a way. I don't mean to be offensive, but it's just the way you two you appear seemingly very opposite. So it's kind of like Laurel and Hardy in a room, and it's kind of like, it's interesting just to watch. Just
it
to
is.
give you a viewer.
He's the woman and I'm the man, put it that way.
Yes. Yes.
Like, I don't let things bother me, and he's like nitpicking,
Yes, I did see that, definitely. All right, awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, well, for any of you that don't know in the audience, Christina's a resident of Downers Grove. I'm sure that the audience would like to know if you all live in close proximity to each other, or are you in different places as far as the other castmates go?
I live in the outer suburbs of Chicago, which is Downers Grove, and all the other girls live in the city. I originally grew up on Taylor Street, which is a city, and moved to Berwyn, then I got married in 2000, moved out to the suburbs. So, yeah,
Gotcha.
I do a little bit of traveling back to the city, and they come out here.
Sure, gotcha. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, have both you and your daughter found some modicum of happiness being out in the suburbs, so to speak? Has it been a pleasant experience for you, by and large? Is she happy? Are you happy?
Yeah, I love it here. I think it's the best place to raise a child because I went to Catholic school my whole life. In the city, you know, there's a lot of riffraff. So with raising a child, I think it's better. Actually, for me, raising a child out here, I think I'm better off, or she's better off. So to speak. Everybody's so nice here. They're so welcoming, and I don't have to worry about her getting shot on the corner. You know, so for me, it's better. Just saying, not that you're going to get shot in the city, but, you know, there's actually more stuff out there than, you know, the suburbs. So what am I getting myself into here?
Oh, my goodness. Note to self. I'm not going anywhere near Chicago.
Let's not hold back here. Yeah, right.
Okay. No, exactly.
Yeah, it's a great city, but...
That's fine. No, that's okay. I'm wondering if your daughter, because of obviously who you are, you now have more television fame. Is it harder for her? Meaning, you know how sometimes I have a celebrity friend of mine, and so of course her child is kind of going through that now, where in school they all know who her mom is, and it's more complicated and complex. Do you find that your daughter has those same issues, or are they more receptive and they're okay with the situation?
Well, I don't know that yet because when it aired, she was out of school for summer break.
Okay.
So I'm not sure about that yet, but, you know, my neighbors know and the kids know. And, you know, actually it's been fine. It hasn't been, you know, you know, she hasn't dealt with that yet. So we'll see.
Okay, good. Yes, definitely crossing fingers on that one. Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
I'm curious about this. Now, was there any given point in time where either you or your family questioned your choice to participate on the show?
No, there was, you know, my dad questioned what was going to be said on the show. I also questioned that. I questioned if, you know, more what I was worried about was the people in the city of Chicago, meaning the Italian American Club and people who were against it. Those are the only people that, you know, I kind of worried what they were, you know, going to do or say. But my father supported me, and everybody supports me. My cousins, everybody supports me on it. They think it's entertainment. They're not, you know, nobody's mad at me.
Gotcha. That's a good thing. We definitely don't want that. And it is very entertaining.
Yeah.
Just as a side note. Good glass of wine, good some cheese, and hang out with the girlfriends and watch Mob Wives. And I learned how to swear better, actually. So thank you. I've come up with some interesting lines from watching this show. It's funny. I can't help it. You know, it's one of those things. And then we all pick out our favorites, like, isn't that guy an ass? And isn't that guy this? And isn't that guy that? What we don't like about this? And didn't you love her hair tonight? It's funny. We just kind of...
Right. And I don't even realize I swear that much. Yeah, I don't even realize.
Well, I'm sure you probably don't. Yes, definitely. Yeah. So I'm definitely not letting my 17-year-old watch the show ever until she's like 30. Thank you.
Well, exactly. My daughter is not watching. I mean,
right. It's just one of those things. Yeah, it's just much
she's
later.
Younger. Yeah.
There you go. Now I'm sure, because you are a normal person like the rest of us, has there been anything, you know, any event or any altercation, anything on the show maybe that you think back and say to yourself, yeah, I kind of regret that I did that or said that?
You know, obviously the first fight, I regret that. I mean, I'm in a club and I'm, you know, I regret throwing things, you know, glass.
Yeah, I imagine so.
Yeah, so, but, you know, I look at, then the flip side, I look at it as I'm defending myself. You know, somebody's coming at me, and who knows what they're going to do. I have to defend myself, and that's what happens. There's a lot of things I regret. Of course, like what you're wearing or how you look that day. You know, those are the only things I'm going through. Yeah. I can't think of any off the top of my head right now.
Oh, that's okay. That's perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to those of you in the audience who don't know, of course, Jennifer Graziano is both the creator as well as, I believe she's done, obviously, the original Mob Wives. She's now done Mob Wives Chicago. I'm curious to find out from you just your overall impression of her. I mean, as far as working with her just as an individual, what can you tell us, people that don't know her, curious, what's she like?
You know, she's a very positive person, and she's an inspiration to me. Love her for giving me this opportunity, and that's the only way I could describe her. And she's very inspirational. Nice
and
person,
is she like her
quiet.
sister?
Yeah, she's definitely the opposite of her sister.
I kind of gathered that. I was just wondering.
She's more quiet. She's more quiet, low key, and you never know what she's thinking. And you know, Renee is more, you know. She lets you know what she's thinking. So, you know,
I got you.
totally
certainly,
opposite,
definitely. Certainly.
Yeah.
And we here on the show, along with all of my faithful followers and everyone, have said this before, and I will say it again, certainly we always have sent out thoughts and prayers to their family, because I'm sure it's probably been an amazingly difficult time for Renee and their whole family, just watching everything unfold and not even knowing them personally. I can imagine the hardship they must have gone through. It's amazing.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Oh, kudos to them. That's all I can say. A strong woman she is. You know, definitely.
Oh, I know. And, you know, Renee is an inspiration to me, too. I mean, all the stuff that she's been through, I just admire her for the way she, you know,
beautiful.
comes
really
out of
very
it.
pretty lady.
Yeah. Oh,
definitely.
Beautiful.
You bet.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Love her eyes.
Both
of them.
She's got to be like a
both
total
of them have the greatest eyes.
Oh, I imagine so. And just even in watching them on television, it kind of just draws you in. You know, they have that personality and mindset where you're intrigued, you want more, you have this interest. And I think that's part of the dynamic why their show works so well. I think it's another great combination. Like, all you girls are you have a very good combination. The dynamic works well. Your personalities across the board, I think, are completely different all the way around. And I think that's neat, and I think it works well. So I'm praying basically like hell that you get renewed again, because I'll be disappointed if you don't.
I know. I hope so. Pray. Start picketing out there.
Yeah, oh, you betcha. I'll come from Milwaukee. We'll just start standing around and we'll start chanting until it happens. That's what I say.
Right?
Now, exactly. I want to be able to have the viewers, obviously, if you watch the show, you know that your father, Raymond, we want to kind of talk about him a little bit. I'd like, if you could, just to share some of your memories of him as a person, not so much the figure that they speak about, obviously, but just the man that you remember growing up and what type of person he is.
My God, my dad is like the funniest guy. He's always telling jokes. He's a carefree guy. He's a guy that you would. Everybody tells me he's a guy I always want to be around. You know, he'll take he'll take his shirt off his back for you. Straight shooter. You know, stand up guy. One of the memories that I have with him, I mean, he's also, when he disciplined us, like I'm the most responsible person with paying my bills now, only because I remember I went to Cancun, and he co-signed a car for me, and I went to Cancun and figured, I'll pay my payment later, you know, I'll use the money to go to Cancun. And when I came back, I was kind of like two payments behind. I used a lot of money. And then I came back, had to go to work the next day. Monday morning, I opened up the garage, and all four tires were off, and the car was jacked up. And I'm like, what the hell?
Oh my God!
It's funny, I hated him at the time, but now I'm like laughing about it and thinking, you know what? I'll never be late on a bill again.
Exactly.
He taught me responsibility. So he didn't give me back my car until I paid him, you know, up to date. So I was kind of like rocking it, getting rides to work, taking the bus, you know. So yeah, it's the funniest thing. Such humor.
Oh my goodness!
He has such humor and discipline. Yeah.
I gotcha. And of course, I assume he watched. Now, do you watch the show together, or I'm assuming he's watching the show, or is that something you all do together as a family? Obviously, not your daughter, but I mean something that you share with your family.
Yeah. No, I don't. They live in Berwyn. You know, they live in another suburb, and on Sunday nights, you know, I'm obviously doing the home thing, and
Sure.
so I wait for my daughter to go to sleep, and then I watch it. So, yeah.
I gotcha.
No, there's no, yeah.
Is it kind of surreal seeing yourself on television? I imagine so. Just kind of looking
It's
at your
a
own
little
face, your
strange.
own
No,
actions.
it's a whole lot of strange for me because,
I imagine.
like, oh my God, am I that big? Or, oh my God, and I can't believe my hair, or this and that.
Right.
Because obviously you gain 10 pounds, and I'm losing as I'm going along, but I'm looking at the first episode, and I'm thinking I'm that same weight, so I'm kind of like getting a little weirded out about it, but it's all good.
I gotcha. We like you just the way you are, period. I can
Thank
speak for
you.
myself and all of my audience members. We just love her the way she is. That's all I can say.
Thank
Very
you.
high-class lady.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And amazingly, I have to say, I was very impressed myself personally. It takes a lot of courage to be able to go on TV again, not only, kind of being in therapy and this, and being frank and just saying, you know what, I am an unemployed single mom, and this is my deal. For those who don't know you, of course, Christina attended Columbia College, and one of her pursuits was, of course, to become a fashion designer. So, of course, we're curious to see here what's going on with that. What are your future plans? What would you like to see happen in that regard?
I'm hoping to get my own line out. I'm hoping to distribute it to, like, the major stores. But in the meantime, I'm sketching. I'm doing designs right now, and I'm hoping to open up my own boutique also. So you'll see that in the future too.
Okay.
But ultimately, I want to, create my own name, my own label.
I gotcha.
And
okay.
design them myself. Yeah.
Have you figured out a particular, like, I'm going to do tank tops and shorts as compared to this or this? Or are you going to stick with the dresses like we saw on the show, or you're not sure yet?
I'm gonna definitely stick with dresses, but I also want to do shirts or blouses for women that kind of, because something I was going through with gaining a little weight, some stress, and I used to dress to the T, and a lot of things I couldn't wear, and I'm thinking, oh, there's other people out there like me. So you want to be like sexy and cover your arms and things like that. So I want to develop some shirts that are sexy, but then again, can cover like a little bit of your arm and still be sexy. And so I'm working at stuff like that. And also I love bathing suits. Things that bathing suits are my thing. Yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious. So maybe someday we can come to Chicago and walk in a store and there's Christina's product right there.
Yes.
I'm hoping.
It will be there, no matter what.
Anyways. Somewhere down the line. Yes, that is awesome. And
I am going to make it happen. Don't worry about that.
We are crossing our fingers on that. And I see not only about the drawing thing, but also, of course, I'm assuming that it is true that you have a love for cooking. So my guess is that you are, if we were in your kitchen right now, what would you be cooking? What types of things do you make? Is it, I'm guessing all Italian. Or I could be wrong.
Well, yeah, most of it, it's a lot of Italian, but I also incorporate, just regular chicken breast with different sauces. Like I love to make, I also do it like chicken breast with artichoke hearts and lemon and things like oregano, just little dishes that I create myself, actually.
I gotcha. Now, do you think that that's something you would ever endeavor?
I love to cook.
Well,
I think one day I would like to make a cookbook. Yeah, I think one day I would like to dip into that. Yeah.
Wonderful. Does your family have a long line of?
Also, my mother, learned most of my recipes from her. But also, my daughter has allergies. She's allergic to milk, so I'm always cooking, just because I can't go out there and just get her fast food, because everything these days has milk in it. So I'm thinking of developing something along those lines on, maybe a product or something like that for allergy kids, because I get so upset when she goes to the school and they have like pizza parties and ice cream parties and she's left out. So I'm thinking of putting my head together and work with something like that too in the future.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is a cool idea, actually. Awesome. Look at this.
It was hell. Yeah, I'm sure it's hell for a lot of moms. So.
Of course, and definitely. You are an inspiration, I think, not only to her, but probably the women that watch on the show, and I think I speak for everyone. It's resonating. just when we watch you on this television show and you're so candid and frank about your employment situation, about your personal situation, about, you're very strong in your opinions and you're very strong in your belief with your friendships. That's very inspiring to individuals who are maybe more quiet, more personal, more this or that, and they can relate to that. And it's amazing to me, just some of the feedback I've heard about you. It's all very good. People like you. You're very likable.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm so happy to hear that because there are some people out there, that come out of the woodwork, and not very many, but they have things to say, and I'm like, what? Did you just say that about me? Because I'm not that person.
Right.
But, you get some out there, and, it makes you feel a little bad. But, people, when they say things like you just said, it makes me, forget about all the bad. Sure, it's great.
Of course. That makes perfect sense, actually. And now I don't mean to make you blush more, but as I'm sure the audience would concur, Christina is beautiful, and she is smart. She's talented. She's seemingly very big-hearted. She's very opinionated, and you seem very full of common sense. So it begs to ask the question that now that you're a divorced lady, we all want to know how many men are knocking on your door.
God forbid if they knock on my door.
Yeah. I wasn't going to say that, but you did.
Right. Yeah. No. No, I'm currently not dating. I, just got out of a divorce and then jumped right into this, and, I'm dipping into trying to develop my career right now, and I just think it'll be too much with dating. Only because I do live with my ex-husband, and can you imagine that? He's going to, somebody picking me up, and I tell him the story. Meet me on the corner because my ex-husband lives with me, and, I don't want no altercation. But I'm still going to, be open to that. If it comes along, it comes along, and great, but I'm not looking.
Certainly. I guess that begs to ask the other question, of course, is do you find that maybe you might be leery at some point if people approach you, meaning are they approaching you because of who you are, or are they approaching you because you're Christina? Follow me?
Well, you know what, believe it or not, I am starting to feel that. And I never understood it before when, celebrities or, and used to say that, like they couldn't trust people, and I'm thinking, they're just being nice. But I am getting the feeling like I don't know if they're talking to me because they like me or because they're just overwhelmed by, oh my God, I'm talking to, somebody who was on TV. And I'm going through that now. I'm not too sure yet about it, but I'm always going to take everybody in a positive light, though. I'm sure if they know who I am and they take the time out to talk to me and they like me, then, I'm going to trust them.
Of course, definitely. And anybody who's listening to this or who will listen to this interview after the fact, I think we all need to be Team Christina. I think Christina should design herself a Team Christina shirt. So all of us who follow you and like you can wear these shirts on a regular basis. And we'll have little mob wives.
Thank you.
Or something.
Oh, my God.
You're very welcome.
You're so great.
Oh, thank you. Now, of course, because I am not only interviewing you, but of course I am a fan of the show, and so us fellow fans want to know in the future, do you appear publicly where we can come and see you or have appearances or starting fan clubs or ways for fans to reach out to you?
You know what? They can all reach me on Twitter. I am at Chris Scoleri, VH1. And then also I have a like page on Facebook. And I also, there's also a Mob Wives page on Facebook. It's called Mob Wives Forget About It. It's a wonderful page. They're so positive. They're good to all of us. And you'll see me on there frequently a lot, actually. I'm always on there commenting and just joining the conversations. Everybody on there is so great and funny, so I'm always going on there. You can reach me on there and talk to me.
And I was going to mention that to the audience, too, certainly. If you wish to, I think it's very important in your regard, especially that perhaps we need to let Christina know at any given point in time that she's wonderful and how impressed we are, or comments about the show, or things that you like, or things that you'd like to see. I think feedback is always very important, reciprocally. I think that's an amazing opportunity. Do you appear publicly at all as of yet, maybe in Chicago area, where someone can maybe come to an event or a signing or something?
You know what? I do a lot of radio interviews right now, and
okay.
We're working on, we are working on doing a little bit more with that, doing more events, and you'll be, just stay tuned, and we're working on that right now. It's kind of hard when you have season 1, and they don't really know you yet, so, you know, when you get season 2, you make more appearances. So
definitely.
I'm hoping to, I look forward to that. Yeah.
And just out of curiosity, because I don't think I know. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, dear.
No, nothing.
I was curious because I don't think this has been announced. How many more episodes do you have before? And you'll have a reunion as well, I'm presuming?
We're on our 9th. We have 2 more episodes to go, so that means like 2 weeks, and then we'll be working on a reunion. Yeah.
I gotcha. Okay, fine. Just so that everyone knows when things are kind of wrapping up and, you know, we can take a look, and we have to know when to start picketing in case there's a problem. For those of us who are not going to let the show go.
Right.
Definitely. You know, it's one of those things. Now, I'm just curious, as far as for Christina, any future plans once your filming is all finished? What do you think you want to do then? You going to venture out into different projects? Are you being approached? I'm sure people are knocking your door down left, right, and sideways.
Yeah, I got a little bit of, you know, I got a lot of things that I'm thinking about. But then again, you know, I'm kind of putting it on the back burner because I'm, you know, working on my fashion career. And then, you know, I'm waiting to see if we get second season. So, you know, stay tuned. I'm working on trying to get a website up. I'm going to sell my brass knuckles, that's for sure.
Oh, okay.
So
oh my gosh,
I'm looking forward. Yeah. Okay. Everybody's been asking me, so I thought, you know what? I'm just gonna start selling them online. Because you wouldn't believe how many people are asking. Like, you should open up a website. We want you to send us those brass knuckles. So.
Oh, how cool is that? Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Now on Facebook, are people able to message you as well, or they can't have direct contact with you there?
You know what? I do have a Facebook, but I try to keep that just my family, and then I have a like page, and they can message me on the like page, and they can also DM me on the Twitter. Yeah.
I gotcha. So this way you can be reached as far as that goes. Definitely.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Exactly.
Well, I have to tell you, Christina, I am impressed and amazed, and I am not surprised at all that I was so very excited about this interview. You're eclectic and fascinating and amazingly intelligent and just so impressive.
Oh, my God. Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome, actually. You have been a true delight to be on this show. In fact, I enjoy all of my interviews, but this one has just been very, very comfortable, and I've enjoyed this so very much. I am really, truly hoping that we're going to be seeing a second season and a third season. I think the work you've done is just tremendous, and I think you should be purging forth and doing a lot more of it. I think I see a lot of future success for you.
Oh, well, thank you. Definitely. I hope so. I hope we do get a second season. So all of this will not be worth it.
Exactly. You're right. And just to reiterate to the audience, of course, VH1, Sunday night, Mob Wives Chicago. Everybody needs to be watching. Of course, hook up with Christina on Facebook, on Twitter. I will be posting same information on my Facebook page as well as on my Blog Talk Radio page, or anybody who emails me or tweets me, I'll give you the same information so that they can get directly connected with you. Christina, I'm hoping to talk to you in the near future, again, about your endeavors. Hopefully you and I can do something together. I would love that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Thank you for even interviewing me. It was a pleasure. I feel so comfortable with you. You're a great woman. Yeah, everybody's got to listen to your show.
Thank you.
I really like you, too.
I appreciate that.
Look at us.
Thank you
We're
very
both joking
much.
each other here.
I know, no kidding, hey? We should be going out and having martinis or wine or something.
We
are.
Definitely. Yeah. We definitely
Yes,
do have a
definitely.
connection.
Yes, and that's awesome
So.
because that doesn't always happen. Sometimes I think people hang up and they're like, oh, my God, who was that broad? So I'm very happy.
Right.
I'm glad this went very
Definitely.
well. So
I feel like I'm
definitely
talking
stay
to
in
one of my
touch.
girlfriends. Yeah.
Exactly. So you have my number. You call me and stay in touch.
Okay.
Definitely.
I will.
You do that.
I will do that. Promise.
Definitely. I would love that. And I will make sure that this evening, like I said, for the viewers, in case you don't know, at any given point in time, you can go back and listen to this episode. I will be rebroadcasting this episode on YouTube as well, or you can go to my Facebook page or Sin's Chat Corner page, and you can click on it at any given point in time, and I'll be tweeting it out to everybody tonight. Christina, again, it was a true pleasure. I'm going to let you go so you enjoy your evening. I hope it bids well for you. All right.
Okay.
Good
Thank
evening.
you. Thank
you, dear.
Everybody
Take care.
have a good evening. Okay. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye. All right, folks, there you have it. Thank you so very much for taking the time to listen to me this evening. My next scheduled episode is going to be for this coming Sunday evening at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, in which case I will be interviewing Lee Merrill, and she's the individual who runs the company Gossip Meets Couture. So please be sure that you tune in, again, 5 o'clock Central Standard Time. Again, thanks so much for listening this evening, and we'll be seeing you on Sunday. Good night.
At Honda, we know young people love new words, so we made one up too, Summerbration, and it is tight, just like the 2017 Fit at 0.9% APR. So hurry into your local dealer for the Honda Summerbration sales event from KBB.com's best value brand.
Visit your Metro Milwaukee Honda dealer today during the Honda Summerbration sales event.
Based on 2017 Brand Image Awards from Kelley Blue Book, visit KBB.com for information. APR financing offers available for well-qualified buyers. See dealer for financing details.
At Honda, we always look for ways to innovate. That's why we combined summer and celebration to create the Honda Summerbration sales event. You can combine 0.9% APR with the stylish Accord, a car and driver's 10 best. So hurry into your local Honda dealer for the Honda Summerbration sales event. It's amaze-tacular.
Visit your Metro Milwaukee Honda dealer today during the Honda Summerbration sales event.
Car and driver January 2017. APR financing offers available for well-qualified buyers. See dealer for financing details.